entrepreneurship, I believe, is really the core of what drives our ecosystem. Really is what drives our economy in America. It's what creates the most jobs. In fact, 600,000 people this year alone will start a business in America. That's a pretty big statistic if you think about it, right? And right now is the age of the entrepreneur. If you think about it, and I'm not going to give you a history lesson, but I love history. The age of industrialism gave us all this great employee mindset. You got to go to school to get good grades so you can get what?
Good job.
A good job that pays what? Good wages and has good benefits and a good retirement so that we one day don't have to work anymore, right? That's the whole purpose of life, right? To one day be 60 years old and not have to work anymore. Well, how many people truly have that one day right in front of them? How many of us in the room, and I'm young, I still got, 28 years, right, to work on this, but how many of us are really prepared to retire right now as it stands? We're saving the right amount of money. We have at least $300,000 saved up for our medical bills, at least $300,000 saved up for various lifestyle bills. How many of us really have that in America right now? We're ready to rock and roll. Not many of us, right? Okay, but Social Security is going to take care of us, right? Right? I mean, that's a fine thing, right? So how many of us have got it? That's taken care of. I know it'll be there 28 years from now. I'm just going to collect Social Security, right? Let's hope and pray for that, and maybe we will. But, the truth is that, that system is gone. And a lot of people like yourselves are realizing right now that entrepreneurship, meaning becoming an independent business owner, which is what you're being offered to do right here by us, is really the wave of the future. In fact, many economists say that the form of micro-entrepreneurship, before industrialization, will be what leads America to its next great wealth creation. And that's the neat part of where we stand right now and where you stand right now. I'm an advocate of the subject of entrepreneurship. I have a brand new baby boy, 6 months old, and he's only going to start a business, right? I mean, he will learn more about entrepreneurship. He'll learn more about how to start a business than he will about how Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. I promise you that. And that leads me to the other subject that I'm passionate about, which is education. So, I grew up in the public school system in the LA area. And any of you guys go to public schools in here? Okay. Do you remember when they taught you entrepreneurship in the second or first grade? I don't either. Right? I guess I skipped that class. I was an honorary child. I didn't miss many of the first grade classes. But they don't teach the fundamentals in the school system. Right? That's supposedly left to parents. But parents don't know the fundamentals either because they weren't taught it in the school system. So individuals who do know the fundamentals, well, they do teach it. And that's what's happening right now in our education system is, the education system is really creating a self-fulfilled prophecy of the employee mindset, which is really not turning out any new entrepreneurs whatsoever. So the program that we've created here in Vi-pak is as much one of education as it is one of entrepreneurship. We're going to teach you everything we know about the subject of entrepreneurship, which is a lot. I've been doing it 13 years. My partners, Nick and Blake, have been doing it longer. And in fact, that guy that you saw, the picture of Blythe, Mr. Robert Gergen, he's 73 or 4, I think, right now. And he's been at it since he was a young man as well. In fact, the Wharton School, any of you ever heard of Wharton? The Wharton School of Entrepreneurship is actually named after him. It's called the Gergen School. So, my boss, the chairman of Blythe, basically wrote the book on the subject of entrepreneurship and has a fully endowed school at Wharton that teaches the subject of entrepreneurship. So we're passionate about this subject from the highest level of our corporate structure all the way down to the ranks of the leaders in the field, to every individual that's a part of Vi-pak is here to teach you about entrepreneurship. So I hope for every one of you that's brand new to Vi-pak or just hearing about us for the first time, you realize this is an opportunity not only for you to become a customer of ours and get the extraordinary benefits of our products, but also to become a distributor with us and actually reap some of the rewards of those people in your marketplace that are going to receive those extraordinary benefits alongside of you. The industry we're in, particularly the weight loss industry, is massive. I had a board meeting with the guys at Blythe the other day, and just to give you guys an idea, Blythe is as Jake said, a $1.2 billion company. It's an NYSE publicly traded company. And so you can imagine, they asked me to come present to their board of directors. So I'm I'm a little nervous. I don't normally get nervous in front of people, but you know, this is the board of directors of Life, and I want to do a good job, so I prepare my presentation, and the only questions they kept asking me is, what evidence do we have that weight loss as a whole is going to grow as an industry? Because when you're a real big company, you think more macro, meaning you're hovering at 30,000 feet saying, what evidence do we have that this industry is a growing industry? Because we can all, at that level, create a company to service a growing industry. And I said, well, the evidence is, and I'll share this with you because we're all entrepreneurs in the room here, right? The evidence is, they say 9 out of 10 Americans will be considered clinically obese in about a year from now. Can you imagine that? 9 out of 10. Now, I'm not a great marketer, but if you tell me there's 100 people in a room, 9 out of 10, how many of 100 would actually be my target market? 90%. So if I have 100 people, that means all I have to do is just talk to pretty much anyone, and I can't miss, right? You know what I mean? Now I'll tell you. Here's the bad news. Now, there's a lot of companies out there that have things called diets, like diet programs, right? Bad news is, over 66% of Americans right now are on a diet. That's the bad news. Here's the good news. Only 6% of them will keep the weight off after their diet. What does that mean? That means you have 66% of all human beings that are actually attempting something to better manage their health and weight. And only 6% of those people will have success. So you have the largest pool of opportunity right in front of you, and I'll tell you, I used to be 260 pounds, so I know gaining weight and losing weight. I'm very familiar with it, and it's something that I've learned to, I don't want to say master, but it's something that I've learned to definitely get good at. But I add weight, and I'm on the Body by Vi challenge. I have 27 days remaining, and I have 10 pounds to lose on the challenge. That's 10. Where's it going to come from? Up here, I guess. I've got it right around here. And some of it's going to be coming from muscle, fat turning into muscle. Some of it will come from actually losing weight, a variety of other things. But I share that with you because, a lot of times you look at someone and you say, well, they probably don't have health goals, right? They seem to be slim. But, for me anyways, the answer is I have health goals, and I constantly have health goals. So, I think I change my health goals every 90 days. After my first challenge is up here in October, I'll set on to another challenge. It'll be to compete in a triathlon. Or perhaps I have other related endeavors that are athletic related. So I share that with you because I want you to understand there's a never-ending opportunity right before you, and that's important.